your boy Lewis, man, on the LBFWN. The Koopy Don Luigi strikes again, and he is back. Welcome with another banger with yet another live stream video. So once again, make sure you look at the ticker, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you share the content. Truly appreciate it. I am not doing any live games tonight. That will be tomorrow on Monday with me and D Jefferson at Speaking My Sports Talk. And make sure that you guys tune in with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we will either be on his channel or we will either be on my channel. I'm pretty sure because D's been saying that. And shout out to D, the Godfather Jefferson, by the way. Him saying that his things have been kind of messed up in terms of him going live on his channel is why he can't pretty much do it. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, smash the like button as you come in. But shout out to my man Freddie Gee, who I was in He Knows His Sports channel earlier, and he says, I'm here for this. Appreciate you, Freddie, as always, man. Appreciate that. Freddie Gee says, big homie, what it do? Koopy Don Luigi. Well, he called me Loogie in the spot. It's all good, Luigi, but it's all good, bro. Like Skip Bayless says, what it do, baby? Yeah. So what it do? What it do, Freddie Gee? Appreciate you, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, the theme that we are talking about is why the 98-99 All-Star Weekend never happened. And this is one of the most interesting mysteries that I've always ever wondered, and I never really truly found out. And I'm pretty sure a lot of NBA fans don't really know why this All-Star Weekend never happened. Because the biggest reason is because a lockout happened. The CBA ended their collective bargaining agreement with the league, especially with the Players Union and the Players Association back in '98. Um, so there's a lot of conspiracies as to why they think that the league ended up having a lockout. Um, and so as you guys look in the thumbnail right here on this beautiful overlay, I gotta say, we see some of our favorite players that we kind of grew up watching, man. And especially if you're an NBA fan, we have Gary Payton, we have the Glove, the Mailman, Karl Malone, the Answer, Allen Iverson, Alonzo Mourning. I call him the Reverend because he's all about the inspiration when I hear that brother talk. Half man, half amazing, Vince Carter, which was his rookie season. You got Sugar Ray, Jesus Shuttlesworth, smooth babyface assassin at the time, Ray Allen. You're talking about Grant Hill, which many people considered the first LeBron James, and some people thought the next MJ. You're talking about the big ticket Kevin Garnett. This was KG's, let's see, 95, 96, 96, 90. This was KG's entering his fourth season. You got the Black Mamba, who was not known as the Black Mamba at the time. He was just known as number 8, Kobe Bryant. You got the big Aristotle. You got Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, right there in the thumbnail. And this is about the special lockout season. So without further ado, I'm going to give my analysis on this article that I found because originally I was looking for an NBA injury report. But ladies and gentlemen, for some reason this popped up and I just found it really interesting as I was reading some of it, and I would like to share with you this article and my thoughts on it. And like again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you comment as you come into the stream. Likes the stream as you come in, man. Appreciate that. Smash that like button. Make sure to come in for this one. All right, so here we go. Vince Carter's 2000 All-Star Weekend in Oakland, California is etched in NBA history thanks to his instantly iconic performance in the slam dunk contest. Now, for those who don't remember, Vince Carter really took the NBA by storm with his breathtaking dunks, especially his in-game dunks during the regular season in both his rookie and at that time it was Vince's second year when they were talking about the dunk contest, even though we're focusing on this. But this is why I call Vince Carter, in my opinion, the greatest dunker in NBA history. Agreed? Disagreed? I don't care. Who do you think is the greatest dunker? Let me know in the comments. In actuality, though, Oakland should have been his second All-Star trip. The '99 NBA All-Star Game booked in Philadelphia on Valentine's Day at that was the most high-profile casualty of an NBA lockout that threatened the entire '98-'99 season. For those who don't know, or for those who remember, the 2002 All-Star Game ended up being in Philadelphia, and for many of those who know, that's Kobe's hometown. But it says originally it was supposed to be on Valentine's Day in 1999 during the lockout. So who knows where the 2002 All-Star Game could have been had it not been for the lockout in the '99 season. And as you were hearing from the article, it's saying that Vince should have probably been a two-time All-Star instead of that being his first All-Star appearance in the 2000 season. That's where it was supposed to be, in Philadelphia, Carter says, after a January practice in Sacramento, California. Even on the phone, there's genuine shock in his voice. Wow, he says, I really had no idea. So look at that. People didn't even know that the All-Star game was supposed to happen in Philadelphia, as you're hearing Vince when he's talking on the phone. He had no clue. I didn't even know, honestly. And I always was wondering, like, why? How is it that there was no three-point shootout, there was no skills challenge, there was no rookie sophomore challenge, and there was no All-Star game? Because you want to see the players play on an NBA stage. That's what brings out the entertainment. That's what brings the competition. That's what brings the fun, and what makes it really entertaining to watch. As kids growing up. But, ladies and gentlemen, it says and continues, but what if the NBA had not had to cancel the 99 All-Star game? What if in a new post-Michael Jordan NBA, there had been a huge Philly basketball celebration to help ease the pain of losing basketball's biggest star? What if there had been an All-Star weekend in 1999? You're in luck. There is. But first, some backstory. So we're going to find out about the backstory. And there you see beautiful Vince Carter right there in his rookie year, man, with the amazing hops. His timing was unbelievable when he would dunk a basketball. Unbelievable. Impeccable timing, man. Impeccable. So, as we continue, it says it's tough to fault Carter for not recalling the 98-99 season is a forgotten or at least rarely discussed chapter in NBA history. Owners locked out the players on July 1st of 98, and the NBA season was shortened in 50 games. Now, from what I remember, I think when the Jazz had swept the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, it was May 24th, and I believe Hannah Storm was doing the report on NBA Showtime when the Lakers had just gotten swept, and Jim Gray had an interview with Jerry Sloan after the Jazz won the conference title, and then they were waiting for the Bulls in the NBA Finals. They had talked about the collective bargaining agreement ending, and I think Isaiah kind of spoke on it, and he says he felt that a deal could possibly have gotten done, but he was wondering how much time was it going to take. A lot of players were upset in terms of not getting the contracts that they possibly could possibly get because of the whole thing that they have families to feed, and you're not playing this game for free, and why are some guys in the league making more money than others, things of that nature. So in continuation, there were no trades, no player signings, no NBA sanctioned summer leagues or contact between players and team representatives. So there was a 98 draft, but there was no summer league. There was no All-Star game. Shortly after the 1998 NBA draft, which featured future Hall of Famers such as Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, and Paul Pierce, labor negotiations came to a screeching halt as growing profits and how those profits would be allocated in the coming seasons became the glaring issue. Profits, revenue, cash, assets. Team owners, among other things, talked salary cap issues and blamed Kevin Garnett's 1997 $126 million contract. That was the contract that ended up getting Stephon Marbury upset, and he ended up getting traded to the New Jersey Nets because he felt that he was just as much as worth as Kevin Garnett, and felt like those two could build something. Well, more so Kevin Garnett, but Stephon was really feeling himself, and he was very good with Minnesota as a young player. I just thought he wasn't. I thought he wasn't as much as big of a franchise player as Kevin Garnett was. So that's why I would have been iffy on giving Marbury that contract. And plus, the Timberwolves they really had not won with those guys. Yeah, they made the playoffs. And that was a nice duo, but they just didn't win. And KG went on to not win for a long time until 2004 when he finally got out the first round. So it took KG a good, 8 seasons until he got out. So that's interesting. So it says, that changed the landscape since former NBA Deputy Commissioner Russ Granick, who's in the Hall of Fame, after the lockout. This was one where owners had said something had to be done. Players talked about the NBA swelling revenues, especially from television and the rookie salary scale, among other things. And people need to remember that in the post-Jordan era, the ratings went down. So the ratings were down. So that's interesting. So the ratings were down at this point, at that time, and that's what the thing was. And so what we need to understand is, as we're continuing, players unfairly shouldered much of the public blame for the lockout. Though, in fairness, some players didn't make it easy on themselves for a public relations perspective. While attempting to organize a charity game in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to benefit UNICEF and NBA players, then Union President Patrick Ewing said pro athletes make a lot of money but spend a lot too. The gesture of the game did anything but with the fans favor back to the players. So that there you go with Patrick. The Boston Celtics' Kenny Anderson joked about selling one of his 8 cars, and Grant Hill took a temporary hit to his reputation for, in the eyes of many, not taking more of an assertive role during the lockout. And his Sprite commercial with Tim Duncan reportedly angered several players. And so apparently there's a commercial uh, with Tim Duncan and Grant Hill. So we're gonna play that, and we're pretty much gonna hear it, and then let me see what you guys think. And we'll see what you guys think about it. So let's play the tape real quick. And while it's loading, here it
Do you have a tree that needs pruning, a light bulb that needs changing, or maybe there's something that you just can't reach? Well, now there's help. Call 1-800-TALL-MEN, and we'll send a caring professional to help you with your needs. Call now, 1-800-TALL-MEN. But hurry, because who knows when our season's gonna start.
Thanks, mister.
Tough times. Drink Sprite, look under the cap, and you could win $25,000 in a Sprite salary cap game.
1-800-TALL-MEN.
And so when Grant Hill did that, that angered a lot of people in the league. And so that's why they weren't really too happy with him when he did that, especially because he really wasn't somebody who was assertive, somebody who really spoke up for the players during that lockout season. So it says by mid-October, the NBA's preseason and first 2 weeks of the regular season had been canceled. If the NBA isn't back by Christmas, said Neil Hernberg, then the sports marketing manager of apparel behemoth Pro Player, we could lose 75% of our NBA business. The effects of the lockout hit the pockets of other business partners as well. The market is soft, noted Steve Robb, vice president of marketing for Starter. Retailers are reducing and canceling orders. So you see how it affects pockets from not only a player's perspective, but from the NBA's perspective in terms of business, with the partnerships with all these marketing companies. So once again, man, smash that like button as you guys come in. Subscribe to the channel. So it says networks were forced to revamp programming, and shortly before Christmas, the NBA announced for the first time in its history, and to date, still the only time since 1951 that the league would cancel its annual mid-season classic. The city of Philadelphia lost out on an estimated $40 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. Give me $40 million and see what I'm going to do with that. You get rid of all your loans, student loans for one. That's the first thing I'll probably do with it. Go on vacation, invest money, get a car, get a house, and I'm good to go with that. Give the hardworking 9-to-5 man $40 million and see what they do with that. If you're intelligent enough to manage your money, mind you. So the lockout didn't set me back. As I'm continuing reading the article, folks, smash the like button as you come in, share the stream, and subscribe to the channel. I had nothing to be set back from, says Carter. I went back to the University of North Carolina, which is where Vince Carter went to school, just like Michael Jordan, which he was being compared to because he was known as Air Canada in Toronto, and had a chance to work out with Coach Dean Smith and the team while I was waiting for the lockout to end. The players approved the new deal, $179 to 5 at 6 a.m. on January 6, 1999, and the league's board of governors unanimously agreed to ratify the compromise. The deal was widely viewed as a win for the owners, but the players did walk away with more money for non-franchise players and for the superstars. Did the players blink? Then NBA Players Association Executive Director Billy Hunter asked rhetorically, I guess we both blinked. So, here is another video talking about Michael Jordan's second retirement, and you're going to see how this affects, what ended up happened to be being the future, the future lockout. So let's take a listen. This is on MTV News, folks. Back in 1998, I believe.
Hi, I'm Serena Altschul with MTV 99. News. Some spoke of his beauty on the basketball court, others of his understanding of the game, and still others of the great Lionheart the man displayed both on and off the hardwood. Yet the consensus on Wednesday is that the Chicago Bulls' remarkable Michael Jordan, who announced his retirement on Wednesday, will be missed by all.
I am here to announce my retirement from the game of basketball. I know, from a career standpoint, I've accomplished everything I could as an individual. And right now I don't have the mental challenges that I've had in the past to proceed as a basketball player. No matter what happens, in this business of basketball, if you didn't get paid a dime, you still would play the game of basketball somewhere. And that love has to be illustrated in the way that you play the game and the way that you carry yourself on and off the court.
Michael, is there any chance whatsoever that you'll change your mind somewhere down the road and return?
No. I never say never, but 95, 99.9%, I'm very secure with my decision.
Said no one ever in the year 2001 coming back for the Wizards when he was promised ownership. Just saying.
As for coaching, Jordan said that he might one day, but he needs to, quote, get away from basketball a little bit. Though many will measure Jordan's impact in terms of dollars, fans like singer Aaliyah, who's an ardent Bulls supporter, and rapper Silk the Shocker, will simply miss Michael, the player.
I'm sad to see him go, of course. He is a phenomenon. But
shout out to Aaliyah, man. Miss that girl. Hell of a singer, beautiful. Right now, I would be calling her. She definitely would be in the Music Hall of Fame somewhere. If anything, for sure, in R&B. Such a beautiful voice, man. I miss her to this day, and it's already been over 18 years since she passed away in that horrific plane crash on August 25th, right before I started high school. Sad day.
But he has had an incredible career. We will miss him. And, if this is what he wants to do, then, I support him all the way. He's worked hard and he deserves to relax now. It's time for him to sit back and watch him.
But here to say it, and as much as I, in one sense, agree with Aaliyah, remember, Michael would have came back at Phil Jackson stayed with the Bulls. But because he had issues with Jerry Krause, and so did Jordan, so did Pippen, Pippen was looking for a new deal, and he didn't get it. So he offset for back surgery, where he could have gotten it much earlier. He waited till right about before the season started. That's why he missed 38 games, ladies and gentlemen. Because he decided to get his back surgery on his time because he was upset that he felt like he did not get paid the amount that he thought he was worth. And that's why the Bulls would deal with that. And because Michael said that he would only come back if Phil could come back. And many people believe that it was possible that they could have came back and beat the San Antonio Spurs in the 99 season. And possibly Jordan and the Bulls, and Scottie and the Bulls would have definitely, won the championship. And that would have been their 7th title to end the decade. So that's what's really important. But let's continue playing the video.
Games.
I wish he came back one more year because I only seen him play one time. And
Silk the Shocker. Wow.
So yeah, I don't like it at all. But you know what I'm saying? He gotta do what he gotta do for himself, you know what I'm saying? And he can't do it for everybody else. He gotta do it for what make him happy, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta respect that at the same time. But I would like to see him play again, you know what I'm saying? And he gone, so the greatest player gone, and I guess you gotta move on from there.
MTV News also got some feedback from people right here in New York Knicks territory.
I think it's a loss to the sport, but I think it's a nice time for him to bow out gracefully. I think that if he hung around, it'd be kind of like, kind of pointless. I don't know what he's got to play for now. I mean, 6 NBA championships in 8 years. It says enough right there. The only other athlete I can compare to was Muhammad Ali, which I remember my parents in Bangladesh.
We got a guy back in 1999 saying that Jordan is kind of comparable to Muhammad Ali. Man, his opinion though.
Where they even heard about him there, and now in Bangladesh you hear about Michael Jordan, you hear about anybody else. So he's one of those athletes, all around the world. I think he kind of like
This is why I continue to tell people that Jordan globalized the game. See, it's like everybody, if you tell who Michael Jordan is, maybe most people today, especially little kids, wouldn't know. But it's like people back then who, when Jordan played, they knew who he was because of what he meant to the game from a global standpoint.
Redefine the idea of like a sports superstar. Like nobody's been as big as him, and like I don't know if anybody ever will be.
Ding.
Though admitting that his injured finger hurt when cutting a cigar might affect his golf game for a while, Jordan said he looked forward to spending time with his kids. Though he did say he had to field his son's recent plea to dye his hair red like Dennis Rodman's. Said Jordan, quote, "No red hair in my household." That is the news for now. More news at 10 of the hour, every hour, right here on MTV.
And so we continue with the article, ladies and gentlemen. And there was Jordan's press conference in January. That press conference actually happened in on January 13th, 1999. So it says less than a week after the return of pro basketball back, Jordan retired for a second time. The announcement wasn't much of a shock, though. The first, obviously, during the first three-peat was because it was in the prime of his career, and he just came off a championship. Well, he came off a championship in this one, but I think probably people were probably more prepared just because there were a lot of rumblings and a lot of rumors thinking that they were probably going to be split. And the funny thing is, Jordan was even thinking about retiring after 97. Because in the 98 championship video, Steve Kerr mentioned a game in Cleveland where they lost by, 20 points. And he said that I shouldn't have came back. And this was Michael during the 97-98 season. He says, I shouldn't have came back. He really thought about it. And he said, it was, Kerr said it was pretty ugly. So continuing, television networks, which for years profited from Jordan's magnetism, were forced to adjust to an uncertain new reality. It's unique to have been in a partnership with the NBA for 8 years and to have had this fairly dust sprinkled on us, said NBC Sports Chairman Dick Ebersol, because remember, Chicago Bulls games were featured on NBC when anytime the Bulls were, playing. Now we have to introduce this generation of stars. Who will we get Babe Ruth tomorrow? No, will we get Babe Ruth tomorrow? And that's no. So that was the thing with the NBA. They were in a very dark time. They were trying to find that new eventual face of the league to fill the void in Jordan's shoes, since he retired for, at that time you thought it was for good. I'm sad to see him go, rhythm and blues singer actress Aaliyah said, but he's had an incredible career and we will miss him. As she said in the video, he's worked hard and he deserves to relax. And then let's see, it's Valentine's Day week in Philadelphia. In real life, the 98-99 season is just over a week old. Teams and players are working their way back into a groove. So now there is an interview with Allen Iverson during the 98-99 season on the Chris Rock Show. So we got to take a listen to this real quick and let's see, the thoughts on my man AI, who changed the culture, who brought the hip hop image to the NBA and set a trend in a very different rate and bring rule changes. That tells you the type of impact AI has. So let's take a listen on his interview with Chris Rock on the Chris Rock Show.
Please welcome the answer, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, your first talk show.
Yeah, y'all already look like you're about to be in a rap video.
They love you, man. They love you now. They call you the answer. in my house, we got either answer, either exploiter, either the ankle breaker, the Alan, I saw it one time. You get ready to play the Knicks, and Charlie Watt was stapling his sneakers on. Now, the baddest movie ever made was the one against Jordan.
7th all-time in scoring from a scoring average, and this was a little man who played in the game of Giants. Unbelievable player, unbelievable heart.
It was incredible. It was incredible because you were incredible in it, and it was also incredible to see your man like just left there like, what did he say to you after that movie?
Nothing. I mean, I never, matter of fact, you never looked at me again after that. I mean, I love him to death. I mean, he's a great basketball player. He's somebody I looked up to. I have a lot of respect for him. But I mean,
you had to do it.
Yeah, that's my dance floor too. I lace up my sneakers just like everybody else in the league. So I want my respect just like he wanted it.
Keeping it $200, Alan. Facts.
You got it that night. You got it that night. Now, you get a bad, everybody calls you like the bad boy of the NBA and the bad boy of this. And you think you get a bad rap just because you got cornrows?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfair. It's unfair, but it's true. You know, it's true. I mean, people look at the way I dress, who I hang around, jewelry and everything. I mean, people try to make me 34 years old, and I'm only 24 years old. I'm growing every day. I'm trying to get better.
Real talk. Real talk. That's real shit right there, my nigga. Real shit.
Because you got the league in store. I see Grant Hill in all sorts of commercials. I see you got your sneaker commercial. That's it. And you can sell anything. Your breath stink too. You know, you can be the right guard. It's like, don't, you know, just because the brother got cornrows. Now you just said, you know, they judge you because of who you hang around with. Is your posse just ill?
No, it's like,
I saw him upstairs. Now I was a little scared. You know, we locked up everything while we doing this interview.
Okay. They've been through a lot of things in their life. I mean, this HBO, so yeah. I encourage them.
Yeah.
I mean, they fucked up just like everybody else. You know,
Damn, I like how your boy confirmed what they on, so he was allowed to do what he said, man. Shout out to AI, man.
But I mean, it's a growing process. All of us, we getting better. I mean, we've been poor for 20 years plus, and I mean, I finally came into some money now. You know, I want to live a little bit now.
Oh, you living, baby, you living. Look at the ice on you. I need a scarf. I got on so much ice. You got criticized for leaving school early. Do you think people just need to mind their business?
Definitely. I mean, especially with.
Funny thing is, man, for those who don't know, Allen Iverson actually did real good, man. He did real good on his SAT. But instead, it didn't happen. And he ended up leaving school, early. So, actually, no, what I'm saying, no. What I'm saying, he got into Georgetown. Somehow he got into Georgetown. And the crazy part was he was being recruited by just about every school in the country. But after that incident that he had back in '93, I believe AI was 18 at the time. That incident that he got into caused him to lose a lot of, pretty much lose his opportunity to get into like a real top school. And thank God that John Thompson came into his life and was able to offer him a scholarship to go to Georgetown. So, shout out to John Thompson, man, one of the real ones right here. But get back to this interview with AI with Chris Rock.
My living conditions at home. I mean, I had to leave. Like, my sister was suffering from seizures, and she needed a personal specialist. So that I thought about a lot of that before I made my decision. Plus, I got tired of coming home and seeing my mom living conditions, and then being able to go back and sleep in a nice dorm and eat 3 times a day. And it was rough, watching them go through that. So
I mean, my coach stuck with me, and he was real with me from the get up. He could have said, "Look, stay here and win me 2 championships," but I mean, he said, "Go take care of your family," and that's how I look at the thing with these kids, man. Whatever you gotta do to take care of your family, whatever's best for you, do it.
Always the right thing. You know what's wrong too? I always think they
Big facts.
pick on the basketball players when they leave school because they're black. Because Tiger Woods ain't going to school. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody ain't saying shit about Tiger because you're hanging around with some white people. You know, it's like, oh no, we don't want you to hang out with your boys.
I got white friends. I mean, my lawyers. I got a lot of white friends too. It's real.
Okay. Now, what's been the biggest surprise since you got in the NBA?
And this is what's crazy about Allen Iverson's career, man. He won the people over with his heart, man. His heart won people over. That's why he was able to bring so much diversity, man. It was like so many different people, different races, different colors, man, were able to appreciate him because of what he brought on the basketball court. He was going to give it to you 120% every single time he stepped out on that floor, man. Every single time he stepped up on that floor. And ladies and gentlemen, once I finish listening to the interview and you guys are listening as well with me, I'm going to go right into the chats and just see some of the comments because I haven't done it because I've been, watching this video. But again, man, smash the like button as you come in, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure that you share the stream. We're doing why the 1999 lockout season never happened. Why was there no All-Star game? Why was there, pretty much no All-Star weekend, man? So, let others know about it, man. Appreciate you guys for coming through.
I mean, the response that I've gotten from kids.
Okay.
I mean, it's just unbelievable, man. Sometimes, I'll be on my block and I see a kid just walk by, and I'll sit there and watch him. He have on my sneakers, and I'll watch him until he get out of sight, man. Because I used to be a sneaker fanatic, man, and finally see little kids wearing my sneaker and look up to me. They don't care about what these adults care about. What is Allen doing with his posse and blah, blah, blah. All they care about is Allen Iverson they see. Because, they don't care about the things that a lot of adults care about, and that's real with me.
Okay. The kids just want to see you fly. Fly through the sky, man. Now, Magic had a bad TV show. Shaq did a Genie movie. How are you going to embarrass yourself?
Both bad, but, well, it's funny, though. I kind of like Kazam. I don't know. There was something about Kazam that I actually liked. But maybe that just may be me, though.
I don't know, man. I don't look at it like that, man. Sky's the limit, man. I'm a black man, and God blessed me with all this talent, man. I'm gonna do something with it.
You got a record company, right?
I'm getting this start one right now. Just moving in slow motion.
Oh yeah, I see.
And how that turned out. Then, you know what? Kobe was thinking of doing the same thing one time when he showed up in Brian McKnight's video. How'd that turn out?
You got your puffin chain on. Dump Daddy Records. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, no question.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the interview on the Chris Rock Show with Allen Iverson. And before I continue reading this article and you guys take a listen, and this was that was right just before Valentine's Day, before the season started. So let's go right back into the stream. And basically, we're going to look right up here. Let's look into the chat. And Freddie keeps saying you're messing up the make. Don't worry, my man. You're going to get it eventually. That looks like Loogie. Shout out to your low key T in the building, man. Respectable, one of the best brothers, man. Respectable brother, knows his content, knows his stuff. Intelligent dude, man. Go subscribe to Low Key T's channel. Appreciate you for coming through, my brother. And like I said, I told you, man, if it wasn't for me having this busy schedule, trust me, like I would be popping up in one of your streams, either alive or definitely straight to a podcast. Like I said, let me know and just send me a link one of these. Possibly this week, because I'm actually going to have some more time off. So at the end of this week, bro, just send me a link to the straight to a podcast, bro, and I'll definitely pull up, bro, because I'm actually gonna have time. Freddie Gee says, I talk about how Braun carried the league on his back for 15 plus years, whether you like him or not. His consistency was crazy. I'm wondering if Zion will be next. I hope so. Listen, man, at the end of the day, man, LeBron has done his thing for 17 years in his career. And LeBron has carried the league. There's no question about that. I'll never take away from that. I just hate when it's obviously there's some things that are forced. But LeBron did his thing at the end of the day, man. It's like you can't take away his career. You can't do that for any player. And I know players want to be biased and people want to nitpick a lot of some of these players' career, but at the end of the day, their accomplishments are their accomplishments. And we need to appreciate all of these great players. I just hate that when it comes to comparing, this is why the media gets blamed for a lot of shit. And this is why I call them full of propaganda bullshit. It's because they bring other players down by comparing their favorite player to others. And it's like, there's no need to do that. The NBA is where it's at today because of the players we grew up watching. We should appreciate the greatness of these players. We need to appreciate Ray Allen. We need to appreciate Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Vince Carter, Alonzo Mourning, KG, Karl Malone, Kobe, Shaq, Marbury, LeBron, Carmelo, D Wade, Chris Bosh, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Sean Kemp, Charles Barkley, and the list goes on and on and on and on, folks. That's what we got to do, bro. That's what we got to do. So Freddie Gee says, Giannis could be the next. He literally brings it every night. High percentage shots and he rebounds well, so his stats will always be there. In my opinion, I think Giannis is possibly the next guy, in my opinion, unless somebody comes in and surprises people. I mean, listen, it possibly could even be a Luka Doncic. Now, he doesn't give you that look or feel of that, but his game is starting to show that. But also, image is very important, folks. So, and if you look at the images in terms of NBA players, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James, all of those guys are big players. You don't see little men being the face of the league. That's why when Steph Curry for that 2016 season was having that 50, 40, 90, averaging 30 points per game, the media was making it seem like if Steph was the guy who was going to be the next care bearer for the league for years to come as the best player in the NBA. But it just didn't look right as he was being torched by the media after choking 2016 and said there's no way a 6'3" guy who doesn't play defense could be considered the best player in the game. So size in one sense matters, but you got to have the ability with the size. And remember, talent doesn't always win, ability does. So Low-key says Giannis had zero post game. I mean, technically, he really doesn't have a post game, to be honest. He needs a running start like. A shout out to my man D Jefferson, D the Godfather Jefferson, speaking my sports talk. What is up, bro? What is up? Lewis, what up, my brother? What is up, D? Yo, I see your subscriber count. Yo, it's skyrocketed, bro. I'm gonna need some stuff so I could get up there with you, my man. Yo, keep doing what you're doing, D. You're doing the damn thing, man. Appreciate you. Freddie Gee says, yeah, low key. What's good, D Jeff? And low key says, you think Giannis got a post game? He goes, folks be saying crazy shit. He still needs a running start at 35. Folks will say anything, man. Don't say folks. I'm right here. Anybody with 2 eyes can see Giannis don't have a post game, but only a dummy will say Brown is a bum. So he says he did good on his Reebok contract too. He's gonna be good financially, and he's starting these about Allen Iverson. I mean, yeah, Reebok gave him a lifetime contract. That's how much AI has meant to the Reebok franchise, especially what AI's game did bring. Duke can't even make free throws, and he 3-6. Only a dummy would think that that's not a bum. Says low key T, and Freddie goes, so free throws and record makes him a bum. Those are the only 2 things that you can do in basketball. He goes, LeBron is so trash. Adam Silver had to literally give the Lakers an easy-ass schedule to start the season. I'm going back and forth. Low-key, Shaq couldn't make free throws, and he's top 10 all time. Right. All right, bro. D. Jeff, Will couldn't either, but this dummy will say that don't matter. You know what, man? Listen, Shaq was a beast in the paint. Giannis doesn't even have the same mentality. Giannis is a beast in his own right. Who else in the chat? Let's see who else is in the chat. If happens to anybody in the chat. Lamau, only dummy here is you sexuals, man. Can't even explain why the dude is missing wide open free throws. Low key T can't even explain why Giannis has got no post game. I'm not on LeBron. That's Freddie's guy. I don't hate on LeBron though. Low key, I could tell your basketball acumen is trash. Shaq is a beast, but he misses free throws. Bron is trash because he misses free throws. Only dummy. I'm gonna say this about LeBron, man. I mean, listen, when it comes to winning, yeah, he ain't there. But I'm gonna be objective about him. I mean, listen, everybody can have their opinions at the end of the day, but like I said, at the end of the day, I respect these all-time greats. At the end of the day, low key, he said, no, I actually watched the games, not the highlights. Freddie Gee says, yeah, I guarantee you can't dribble a rock. Layups and dunks for 17 years, and I'm balling real right. Oh damn, didn't Shaq do that? Well, for those who don't really know, Shaq actually he could dribble the ball up the court. He just wasn't allowed to do it. Coaches told him that he had to act like a traditional big man. Traditional big man, man. Low key T, you can't ball, fam. Let me look at your channel. How much you want to bet ain't shit on your channel if you shooting hoops? I mean, to be honest with you, his channel ain't really about that, man, Freddie. His channel really he does bring basketball content, but it's like it's more than that though. He does more than that. His mostly is talking about a lot of issues that are happening in America, like especially when it comes to black folks. So that's what he talks about. But you should definitely check out his podcast though, because it sheds a lot of light though. And so, okay, uh, he goes low key. It ain't in your playlist. Go put your playlist. Where's the video? I thought you hooped in real life. I don't see anything for the past 2 years. You should ball, my guy. All I D is gossip on your channel. No ball, no shots getting put up, just drama. Well, that's what he says. But let me continue the video, ladies and gentlemen, man. Again, to smash the like button as you guys come in. Okay, so instead of the pageantry of an all-star game, the Sixers are hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Allen Iverson is his usual self. 32.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 steals, and 2 blocks, helping Philly improve to a 4-1 start to start the season. I remember the Sixers got off to a very good start that year. He's the game lone bright spot in a 78-76ers victory. And for people who forget, the 99 season to about 2004, it was very difficult to score points in that era. And you could even go back to probably the 96-97 season. It was very difficult to score points. Unfortunately, the biggest news to hit the city that weekend is a fire that engulfed South Philly Street St. Barnabas United Methodist Church. Wow, didn't know that. And the biggest sports-related news, WrestleMania 15 invading the city in March, headlined by a no disqualification title match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Remember, the first of 3 trilogies between those two all-time megastar greats. But let's imagine an alternative history. Philly is abuzz with Hollywood's elite music's biggest names and NBA legends, both established and in the making. West Philadelphia's Will Smith, fresh off getting jiggy with it, an enemy of the state, is one of the biggest stars on the planet. That's right, Will Smith, Philly guy. He's down front. Lauryn Hill, Philly girl. She's one of the biggest musical artists on the planet. I love Lauryn Hill, and I love the Fugees, man. If y'all haven't listened to the Fugees, y'all missing out, man. Love that group. One of the greatest all-time hip-hop crew artists in music history, man, especially hip hop history. He's in his 3rd season, AI, and one of the league's most prolific scorers. But more than that, he reaches and represents a generation fueled by counterculture and soundtracked by hip hop. And that's what, if that's the word to describe AI, I would say it. He's counterculture. While Iverson's cornrows and tattoos are to some a sign of basketball's decaying morals, to a younger generation, he's a symbol of defiance, swagger, and perseverance. I would say swagger and yeah. Those 3 words describe it perfectly, man. And I like how this article does it, man. So the DSP is AI, defiance, swagger, perseverance. It's unfair, but it's true, Iverson told Chris Rock. People look at the way I dress, as he mentioned in the video, who I hang around, my jewelry. People try to make me 34 years old, and I'm only 24. So people try to make him proper. They kept trying to do that his entire career, especially David Stern. People hated Allen Iverson and people loved Allen Iverson. It's that dichotomy and that polarization that made him the obvious de facto mayor of the '99 NBA All-Star Weekend that never was. So imagine what that could have done for the game had AI been at the All-Star game in Philadelphia. Crazy. Team owners, among other things, blame KG's '97 $126 million contract. Also at courtside for the game are hometown heroes such as Mike Schmidt, who played for the Phillies. That's a baseball player. He played third base. Moses Malone, one of the most underrated all-time greats in NBA history, and one of the most impactful as well. On that '83 Sixer team with Dr. J and Mo Cheeks and Bobby Jones and was Andrew Toney on that team, or did he come the next year? I think he was on that '83 Sixer team. Denzel Washington, Mariah Carey, Aaliyah, Spike Lee, Snoop Dogg, Jim Carrey, Djimon Hounsou, Kate Winslet, Bill Russell is there, along with Will Chamberlain, whose relationship with Philadelphia is both storybook and tragic. The meeting at the '99 NBA All-Star game that never was would be one of their final times together, as Chamberlain would die 8 months later. That's crazy, because he did die right before the start of the new millennium. Muhammad Ali and Philly's own Joe Frazier, in the imaginary weekend's most touching moment, publicly ended a bitter feud that lasted nearly 30 years with vicious taunts from both men. In real life, the two boxing icons squashed their beef at the '02 All-Star game in Philadelphia. Places of honor go to Julius Irving as well as Jordan, whose presence is impossible to avoid given that most fans have yet to accept his second retirement. My man Jazzy Jeff, and by the way, I went to his pool party in Las Vegas 2 years ago, and that was one of the best pool parties. Yo, that joint was lit. DJ Jazzy Jeff had that place bumping, man. That's a fact. That was a big fact. And is the weekend's official DJ. Hometown daughter Patti LaBelle performs the national anthem, paying homage to the city's soulful musical roots with the most soulful rendition since Whitney Houston at the '91 Super Bowl. The aforementioned Hill, following the August 1998 release of her Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album, is tapped to perform at halftime with a string of hits, including the doo-wop. I love that doo-wop is one of my favorite songs. Everything is Everything and Lost Ones. Less than 2 weeks later, Hill's place in history is cemented with 5 Grammys, including Album of the Year. Celebrities are a necessary part of All-Star Weekend because that's what helps the entertainment and that's what helps the ratings. So you get to listen to music and you get to watch sports at the same time. So different genres blended into one event. That's what makes the All-Star Weekend special, as are big name performers. But the biggest celebrities and performers are the ones voted by the fans to start the game. Unlike 2019, the teams were still separated by conferences in '99. Yet, like 2019, the game starters will be selected via fan vote. Here are your 1999 NBA All-Stars for a game that never was, current and future Hall of Famers each one. So before I get into the All-Star selections, let me show for what would have been in the 1999 NBA All-Star game that never happened. Let's look into the comments real quick. So Freddie says, see, Speaking Mind says, yeah, fam, that's from my boxing side, man. I gained a lot of traction with this Joshua win. We got to get these basketball groups jumping. Those are facts. Freddie says the Fugees were dope. Yes, they were. Shout out to my man Jay in the building. What is good, my brother? Appreciate you for coming through on this live stream right now. Late live stream, kicking it in with me and the fellas that are here. Low Key, Freddie, and Speaking My Sports Talk. Jay says, hey D, Speaking My says 1K views on my Andy Ruiz video, and I got 1.2 views on my Anthony Joshua video. Both videos got me about 150 subscribers. Man, that's what's up, D. That is what's up, bro. And Freddie says, what is good, Jay? Speaking My says, you know, what up, Jay? And appreciate you. Jay says, hey, Freddie Gee. And with Jazz, nice. That's right, Jazzy Jeff, man. This is a dope topic, bro. Yeah, yo, I appreciate that, Freddie, man. Make sure you share this joint, man. Appreciate it, man. So here we go. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's right. Current and future Hall of Famers were on each one. Here we go. For the Eastern Conference, Allen Iverson had the '99 All-Star game been in Philadelphia, and it still would have happened, he would have been an All-Star. So there you got AI. So it says this weekend's point person, and he would have been the leading vote getter, and he would have been the host of the All-Star weekend. And imagine what Philly would have been like had Allen Iverson hosted the All-Star game in Philly during the lockout season. So the weekend's point person, if you will. Though if you're in the mix, you'll see Bubba Chuck at every party in the city, Iverson popping bottles, rocking jewelry bright enough to light up the nightclub, and partying to DMX, Jay-Z, Cash Money. Yo, those three were my guys right there, yo. Especially listening to DMX, man. Especially when the Rough Riders were like just at that time. You're probably wondering where he sleeps. It's All-Star Weekend. No sleep. It's Philly. And it's Allen Ezell Iverson. Oh, wow. Didn't even know that was his middle name. Allen Ezell Iverson. Didn't know that. And if you know he's bringing the city out, Iverson did eventually capture All-Star Game MVP, but he did it in Washington 2 years later in the 01 All-Star Game. Also a homecoming of sorts, given his Georgetown roots. So needless to say, the league's leader in points per game and minutes per game in the 98-99 season would have put on a show before a crowd that treats him like a demigod to this day. Oh, I mean, you could say the same thing with Kobe Bryant. The Laker fans treat Kobe like a demigod in Staples Center every time he comes through. So AI is your first All-Star. Then you got Sugar Ray Robinson. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking boxing. No, Ray Allen. My bad. Babyface assassin right there. Jesus Shuttlesworth, man. And if you haven't seen the movie He Got Game, I suggest y'all go watch that. That's one of the best movies of all time. He Got Game. Go watch that. That's with Ray Allen and Rosario Dawson. So Ray Allen, Penny Hardaway really could have won a popular vote over Ray Allen, aka Jesus Shuttlesworth, in 1999. Penny started every game in 98-99 and led the Magic to the playoffs, but Hardaway's injury history works against him here and is beginning to paint a picture of what could have been an all-time great NBA career derailed by factors beyond his control, injuries. Riding the wave of the 1998 He Got Game, the Milwaukee Bucks superstar in the making gets the nod, and if you best believe he's rocking the HGG 12s in the process with Washington, Lee, and Jordan all sitting at courtside too. Allen was a magnificent shooter from the day he entered the league. Big facts. And in his later years, he became a marksman who nailed the three that saved the Miami Heat's dynasty in 2013. But they didn't. They said Miami wasn't a dynasty. So why are they saying that in here? But Young Ray, Young Ray could do it all, including put you on a poster. Yeah, Ray had hops. People don't understand. Ray was a dunker. And Ray used his athleticism. In his younger days with his ability to shoot. But Ray was much more athletic in his Bucks days. Underrated athleticism. Vince Carter for the Raptors. All the hoopla and hysteria we see around Luka Doncic now, that would have been Vince, the eventual rookie of the year. Just imagine rookie Vince Carter in the All-Star game. Allen Iverson hosting the All-Star game. Do you know the amount of attention it probably would have gotten? Had he actually had, it's crazy. So that would have been Vince, the eventual rookie of the year, 20 seasons ago. Had he actually had a real rookie season to lay ruin to? How massive was the Vince hype? Let his cousin and teammate Tracy McGrady tell it. So he goes, Carter, if the league on fire with his athleticism, his spectacular dunks, he says with a smile, you can almost see through the phone. That momentum carrying into the 99 All-Star break just would have been on fire. Even in the abbreviated season, Carter's athletic prowess became the theatrics of legend en route to a runaway Rookie of the Year campaign. Carter starts as a rookie in the All-Star game because why wouldn't he? Exactly. He was just getting all that attention. And see, the guy Grant Hill that I was just mentioning, folks, who was a lot of players were angry by the commercial that he made with Tim Duncan, which was about tall men, and basically saying that just hoping that the season will start, but he wasn't really advocate and stepping up when the players were stepping up when they were trying to get an agreement done with the NBA when the collective bargaining agreement ended in the 98 season. So Grant Hill would have been your starting power forward, I think. One of the best and most popular and marketable stars in the league was set to be leaned on heavily in the post-Jordan era. This was healthy Grant Hill. His ability to do uh, nearly any and everything on the court. He averaged 21.7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.6 steals on 48% shooting in the 98-99 season. It made him an undeniable superstar with crossover appeal. Well, I mean, with Grant Hill, his crossover was just really more so right to left or left to right. It wasn't like one of those crazy handles, but I will say that it would shake his defender off. I mean, it's kind of like what Steve Smith would do with the Smitty. If y'all know the Smitty, that little half spin move that he does, but it was effective every time. It made him an undeniable superstar with crossover appeal. He was married to R&B star Tamia, and Tamia, one of the most underrated artists of her time. Love her music. If you guys haven't listened to Tamia, go check her out, man. She has made some very good songs over the years. She came out with an album earlier this 2019, whose brilliant 19 or was it last year? I don't remember. Whose brilliant 1998 self-entitled album Tamia produced the hit "So Into You," one of my favorite tracks. Also made the former Duke Blue Devil a star far beyond the court. The sky's the limit for Grant Hill in February of '99. One question no one's really asking at this point, though, should we be talking about Hill's impending summer free agency? Too early, right? Yeah, you're right. And if y'all remember, in the 2000 season, your boy Grant Hill was a free agent. Okay, so that's what it was, man. He had a free agency back in 2000. So people have to remember that. Then you got Alonzo Mourning, the heart and soul of the Miami Heat. When the center position actually counted in the All-Star game. Now we play positionless basketball in the All-Star game. Here is Mourning. Shaquille O'Neal had a long defected to the Western Conference. Patrick Ewing's prime years were behind. At that point, he was 36, 37 years old. Mourning is without question the East's best center on a team many believe will compete for a championship come June. His 20 points and 11 rebounds per night would have made him an all-star in any season, but his league-leading 3.9 blocks per game made him getting into Fort Knox easier than getting to the rim or zones in the neighborhood. Damn, that just lets you know, bro. Nearly 4 blocks a game in the lockout season. And there's Pat Riley, who would have been the head coach. So with Jordan retired and the Chicago Bulls team a shell of its former self, Pat Riley's Heat had real-life title aspirations and the squad to do it. Just a hunch, though. They should probably try to avoid the New York Knicks in the first round. And if everybody knows, the Knicks and the Heat, one hell of a rivalry. They played 4 straight seasons with the Knicks winning 3 out of 4. And Latrell Sprewell said it best about the rivalry. You probably could have played until you died, and it would be a sense of relief when the series would be over. It was always tooth and nail with those two teams, two of the best defensive teams in the NBA. It was very difficult to score points. It would be 1 minute, a team could go on a crazy run, and then you could go on a crazy drought. That was the Knicks and the Heat for you. Bloodbath. With Jordan retired and the Chicago Bulls team a shell of its former selves, Pat Riley's Heat had real-life title aspirations and the squad to do it. Just a hunch, though. They should probably try to avoid the New York Knicks in the first round, like I said before. Western Conference. GP, Hall of Famer, baby. With fellow Oakland native and future Hall of Famer Jason Kidd in Phoenix, there's competition out west for the starting guard spot. But the glove gets the nod because he's still very much the floor general who led the Supersonics to the NBA Finals 3 years earlier. The Sonics aren't the dominant force in the 98-99 season. They were in the mid 90s. But GP, the Sonics were a dominant force, but people were saying Jordan played a bunch of plumbers. The 96 Sonics apparently were plumbers when they're one of the greatest teams of all time. All time great. Underrated defensive team, most underrated defensive team in NBA history, in my opinion. They were in the mid-90s, but Peyton's output was still up there with the best point guards in the league. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 8.7 assists, and 2.2 steals. Plus, Peyton's a showman of the highest order, and being able to mic him up in the game is too much basketball trash talk for Nirvana to pass up. Wow, Kobe Bryant would have been a 19-time All-Star. It was pretty much written in stone that from the moment this teenager started his first All-Star game in New York a year earlier, one of these guard spots would be his every February for the foreseeable future. In this alternate reality, Kobe returns to Philly, the city he claimed, although it didn't always reciprocate his love, and puts on an absolute clinic. Not many players have had a higher flair for the dramatic than the perpetually dramatic Bryant, with Ali, Frazier, Hill, Jordan, Will Smith, and others at courtside. Maybe, just maybe, Bean captures MVP honors in Philadelphia in '99 just like he did in '02. The big ticket KG, Kevin Garnett. The big ticket, like Bryant, is inked in here for as long as he can put up with Minnesota, largely accomplishing very little during his prime years. By the end of his third season in '97-'98, Garnett had become a one-on-one of a generational talent. He was a complete freak on the defensive end and was the only player in the league to put up 18, 9, and 4 assists per night. If that wasn't enough, the now three-time All-Star had no problem taking an opponent's ear off. KG was a real asshole, but what I will say is that dude had intensity. That dude played with a lot of passion, and you can't take that away. The mailman Karl Malone for the Utah Jazz. Quick question: don't use Google either, and please don't ask Jeeves who won MVP in '99. If you guess Malone, boy, buy yourself a drink. Or matter of fact, you invited me to SantaCon. Because of the lockout, his '99 MVP won in his 14th year in the league at age 35 is relegated to obscurity, sandwiched as it is between Jordan's final MVP in 1998 and O'Neal's virtuoso in the 2000 campaign. Malone, the game's future second all-time leading scorer, gets the fan selection here, but it does come with a caveat. There's a young phenom in his second season in San Antonio by the name of Tim Duncan, who will make this spot his very, very soon. A lot of people feel that Malone winning the MVP in '99 should have never happened. That should have went to whatchamacallit, to Tim Duncan. So let's continue. Shaq, the best big man in the game at this time. Like Iverson, if you're in Philly for the '99 All-Star game, that never was. It won't be easy to miss Shaq, sure, because of his stature, but more importantly, because of his larger-than-life personality. That's what Shaq was, very outgoing. O'Neal was not just a superstar. That dude was a megastar. I mean, rapper, NBA player, appeared everywhere. Dude was unbelievable. But with a broad appeal similar to Jordan's. And with Bryant in Philly too, there was the slight chance O'Neal and Bryant could have performed their long since forgotten rap collaboration, Three Times Dope, from O'Neal's 1998 album, Respect to Some Random Party in the City. Yeah, that was a terrible song and terrible album. And Greg Popovich would have been the coach of the West. With a young Duncan and with a wily vet and David Robinson seemed poised for something special in San Antonio, they might be on something here. Wow. So there's a picture of Carter and Kobe. Bonus. Is the '99 NBA All-Star Dunk Contest the greatest dunk contest that never happened? So, aside from a few special moments, see Cedric Sabalos blindfold, D Brown's no look, Sean Kemp's double pump, Isaiah Ryder's East Bay funk dunk, or Brent Barry's jump from the free throw line. The dunk contest lost steam in the '90s. Bryant, as a rookie, won the contest in '97. There was no contest at all in '98. That's another question that we need to ask. Why wasn't there? That's another question. Why wasn't there a dunk contest in '98 and there was no All-Star game in '99? In Madison Square Garden spoke volumes. The contest returned in 2000 with a bang. At the Golden State Warriors home arena, Steve Francis, McGrady, and Carter proved to be human defibrillators, reviving the contest with legendary swag. And that's what Steve Francis, at his height, had tremendous vertical. Dude had some real nice dunks in that dunk contest that gets lost. T-Mac put a pretty good show too. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, it was some high flyers with creativity and young legs, man. It would have been crazy. Yet McGrady still wonders what would have happened in Philly at the All-Star game that never happened. You had Kobe, and you had Vince come in. I mean, who knows what McGrady says. Kobe probably would have entered the slam dunk contest that year with Vince. You just never know. I still would have picked Vince over Kobe though, because Vince, I told you, Vince has the better vertical leap. And the thing is, with a lot of his dunks, he doesn't even really think about them, man. And it's just he has the ability to get them all on his first try. So that's why I call Vince the greatest dunker of all time. Carter agrees. Although the missed opportunity doesn't hurt as much given the light show he and his cousin put on in Oakland. As far as what could have been, yeah, maybe that year. As far as a dunk contest, Carter says, a potential field of Bryant, McGrady, and Carter. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, there's some high flies with creativity and young legs, McGrady is claiming. It would have been crazy. Carter doesn't want to play the what if game too much, though. But he realizes what those three could have brought to the floor in the 99 All-Star dunk contest that never was. Kobe and Ott played with each other in AAU. And everybody knows that for those who watch AAU back in the day. Tracy and Kobe were good friends. The friendly competition and the mutual respect we have for each other as athletes and dunkers would have brought the best out of each other, each and every one of us. Carter says that would have been legendary. Would have been legendary. So, and ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much so that was pretty much the article, folks. Um, I just thought it was pretty interesting. So let's go back to the chat. Um, Speaking Mind says I gotta dip out. Lewis, call me when you finish this live. I'm probably gonna be up late. I don't know if I'm gonna be up long, so I just might have to text you. Speaking Mind says priest Eddie, everyone. Jay says later. D. Freddie D says salute D. Jeff, appreciate you for coming through, brother. Jay says Ray Allen was the right one for the He Got game. Not sure it's the same movie with Kobe. I agree. Freddie D says I bet the colorways of the shoes were crazy. I'm pretty sure they were, man. And Freddie D says, I didn't know that Grant Hill and Tim Duncan did a commercial together. Makes sense why they wanted to go to Orlando together. I mean, it's quite possible, I think. But remember, Doc ruined everything with that. So, he kind of messed up on that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's the 98-99 All-Star game that never happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got to ask you this question. Why was there no dunk contest in 98? We need to find out about that. And your boy LBFWN will be on the case for that one, so stay tuned. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to put an end to this one. So I just wanted to get my thoughts on that. I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. And once again, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hope you liked the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm going to say goodbye. But once again, before I go, Freddie says I was born in 93. I remember the 03 All-Star specifically being memorable. It's crazy to think that 98 and 99, the All-Star game and dunk contest lost its flair. Yeah, it lost its flair in the 90s. It really did. What I want you to do is go look at every single dunk contest from 90 to 97, and you'll see why it lost its flair. Freddie Gee says, T-Man, Kobe, Carter, A.I. Pierce, Ray Allen, KG, Dirk, Shaq, Timmy, Jason Kidd, Steve Francis. 2000s. That was a nice article. Yep, it was very nice. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I will say goodbye. Thank you for showing up, and you already know the 3 models, man. Live, laugh, love. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of it. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share, and peace out, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love, Freddie. Much love, man. Peace, everybody.